It'll come as no surprise, but Normandy is a place that is what I think of when I think of France. Short of Paris, of course. This is the look and the feel that I think of when I think about what it must be like in French villages and what it must be like going through small towns.
Well, this is phase 3 of my trip. I have driven from Le Mans, France, all the way here to the Normandy coast. And here on the Normandy coast, it's beautiful. Cool, dry, sunny, well, partly cloudy. Beautiful villages, and you'll see some of those in the video as well. What am I going to do? I'm going to see some things related to D-Day in World War II. I'm going to eat in some French villages. Tonight I'm eating a wood-fired pizza and drinking a bottle of wine. What are you doing? Well, thanks for watching so far, and we'll see what happens over the next 3 days. Well, guess where I am? I'm at the Airborne Museum in Normandy, about to go into the museum. And if you've watched World War II movies, or maybe you're into the history of World War II and the airborne soldiers, standing, oh, I don't know, 50 yards from me is the church where the American airborne soldier got hung up on the steeple. And in fact, they have a facsimile of that soldier hanging there right now. And all I can think is given the nature of these men who were jumping, I can just imagine them hanging there and thinking to themselves, son of a bitch. You go through all that drama and fear and panic, and then you end up on a church steeple, and you got to figure out what to do. I'll have a video of that shortly, but we're going to go into the museum, see some stuff. Remember, like, comment, and subscribe. Thanks for watching so far. We'll see you soon. I would say this museum is probably one of the must-do list of Normandy. I say that because the airborne made such a big difference in this battle on the beach and behind the beach. But more importantly, the exhibit is powerful and it has many different buildings. I would probably plan to spend somewhere between 2 and 4 hours here, and there are cafes nearby to take a break in.
This seems to be a private museum, and I'm fine with that. They have a lot of artifacts and they have some compelling scenes. I will say that the scenes are perhaps a little bit more garish in how they're presented, but they don't lack authenticity, and that's worth seeing. More importantly, it's on the way, it's an easy stop, and you should see it.
Good morning. What happens today? Omaha Beach and the American Cemetery. Both places that I've wanted to see for probably 40 years now. I truly became aware of what was going on over here in Normandy in terms of memorials when Ronald Reagan visited. I think it was in 84, 83, somewhere around then. And I'm glad to be here and see what people went through. I mean, clearly this isn't the weather that they had, but we can certainly see the terrain and appreciate what they've done. After today, I'm headed home, and I'm kind of excited to go home for a while. So let's see what we have, and remember, if you like what you see, like, comment, and subscribe. Beach and the high ground, you just really appreciate what the odds were for the invading force. Pointe du Hoc. This is the tall cliff that the Rangers climbed. And you see it in virtually every D-Day movie where people are having to rappel up a cliff, and one by one they get picked off until they're just simply overwhelming the Germans. Let's take a look. It's hard to see, but believe it or not, you're looking deep into a crater, maybe 35 feet deep overall. The only way you can really tell just how deep it is for me to lift the phone to the horizon.
Take just a moment and imagine this expanse, this large body of water just completely filled with ships. And on every one of those ships, men, soldiers, and yes, even women, here to support the largest invasion ever done in order to preserve democracy, in order to regain democracy for Europe and possibly the world.
You can see at this end cliffs that look fairly regular and very sharp. In a moment, I'll show you another cliff where they're completely eroded from artillery shells. Those large piles of rock were caused by artillery shells hitting the cliffs. And as a result, it looks pockmarked. Now it looks fairly natural. But all of that is damage caused by man.
I wanted to be there.
Now I'm going to say something controversial, and there's going to be a few of you who don't like it, possibly, but there's some truth to this. There's this often expressed belief that America won World War II, and that's not really true. It is true that Europe, including France, Britain, and all the other countries that had been invaded and occupied, could not have won World War II without America. But here's the thing, and the thing that I would ask everyone to consider a little bit. Without Britain, Canada, Ireland, Great Britain, France, all of the insurrections going on in the occupied countries, America couldn't have won that war either. So when you see multiple flags and you think that America did the heavy lifting, that's not really true. And another thing to remember is this. Europeans had been fighting and losing people for 2 full years before the United States entered the war in Europe. A little more than 2, really. And as such, they had already lost millions. It's true, millions of Americans lost their lives here or were injured or hurt or whatnot. But we all shared those losses. And it's true that America helped Europe to become whole again. But here's the other thing. If you think that people were just wholesale helped and their lives started again, in Great Britain, rations existed for food into the 50s. And that was true in several other countries. So it's not as if everyone got a free ride. They had a lot to do to rebuild and a lot to build on their own. And it's worth remembering that when you think about this war or any other political conflict. Thanks for watching.